Hello, citizens of the verse! This week's Around the Verse episode was all about the cockpit experience and all of the steps that CIG is taking to improve this feature, in order to make it as visceral and engaging as possible. This includes things like updated reactions to G-forces, hit reactions in the cockpit so that you're now actually reacting to impacts that are raining down upon the ship, and adding a slew of effects that play in response to any of the things that can happen within the cockpit, including air decompression, flames, and lighting changes, all of which are going to reflect your current status as you take damage. These differences will indicate if you're in the ship's default mode, if you're running on auxiliary power, or if you're caught in the grips of an emergency state. This adds to the drama of space battle and your overall feeling of danger, while also eliminating the need for you to have to guess when it's time to bail out and save your own skin. They began this process by focusing on one cockpit type, starting with the Gladius as a test case, which uses a specific style of cockpit that they're calling the HOTAS CL. Its configuration, not too surprisingly, mimics your desktop if you are actually using a HOTAS to play the game. It would be impossible to have all of their ships updated to this new visual effects style by the time that the 3.0 update is released. So CIG has been focusing on getting the other 6 ships that also use the same cockpit style ready first. The list of ships includes the Gladius, Buccaneer, the Herald, Cutlass, Saber, and the Vanguard. They made a few physical changes to the Gladius's cockpit, like moving the consoles to make them more visible to the pilot. Their placement was also moved, giving you a much better view of your weapons and the visual effects of the muzzle flash as it spits hot lead into the ranks of your enemies. Previously, there were no visual cues to indicate when your ship was currently taking damage. Now the new cockpit experience includes representing different states of being damaged, all of which are shown off by a series of newly implemented visual effects. This includes letting you know when your ship's currently being shot at. The hit reactions are based off of what direction you're getting hit from on all 6 axes, so you can get a proper sense of where an attack is coming from. New effects like sparks, smoke, fire, debris charges, and other similar cues will play whenever your ship is being hit to let you know that you're being damaged. You'll also be seeing more or less of these kinds of effects depending on what condition your vehicle currently is in. Another improvement has been to introduce G-force physics into the breathing and stamina system. As you suffer from the increased stress of the G-forces that are pressing down upon you, your character will use up more oxygen, which increases your susceptibility to passing out. Even your character's breathing patterns will alter to reflect this change as your stress levels increase. Some of the screens found in the cockpit were way too small to be seen without zooming in on them, so they were increased in size and brought closer to the camera. They were also angled in towards the pilot to reduce reflections, and more of them have been added in to increase the amount of information that is going to be visible to you at a single glance. And for me, this is one of the best bits of news. They're going to be bringing back the combat visor interface. These are support screens, so you can move information from any of the other consoles up to them if you want. But by default, they'll display your status and your enemies, giving you an easily accessible overview of their current condition. The goal for the newly implemented interaction mode is to allow someone to be able to sit in the cockpit for the very first time and figure out all of the functions of that ship using only that mode. This is going to eliminate the need to rely on having a majority of the ship's functions being mapped to shortcuts, and greatly increase the flying experience while reducing the learning curve that's associated with using each ship. The culminating effect of all these options are going to blend together to create a living, breathing vehicle that reacts to its environment in response to outside stimuli. The interior of the ship is going to continue to become a completely tactile experience, where every button reacts to being pressed, animates, and has a function associated with it. All of these changes sound very exciting and are going to add greatly to the overall immersion factor that just reinforces my faith in this game and heightens my expectations for 3.0. Thank you for tuning in to this week's summation of Around the Verse. Take care, and I hope that you'll come back and visit the channel again for more Star Citizen content.